Hi, I'm Erik Voss, and Avengers Infinity War's digital release keeps squeezing out interesting Easter eggs that we missed the first time around. It's kind of the chicken that's literally keeping this egg eater fed day after day. The latest egg that you have all brought to my attention is this possible reference to Captain Marvel. If you look closely, a sash worn by Cull Obsidian of Thanos' Black Order has the same colors and design of Captain Marvel's suit insignia. Yes, the same colors that we saw on Nick Fury's comm device to Carol Danvers in the post-credit scene. So let's look closely at Cull Obsidian in Infinity War and discuss what his possible connection could be to Captain Marvel, and other big reveals that could be coming in the Captain Marvel movie next year. And real quick before I begin, this video was brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, a website, or online store, make it with Squarespace. More details on that later. Okay, let's start with Cull Obsidian's sash. He wears this throughout the movie, and the design is most visible in the fight sequence with Ebony Maw, Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, Doctor Strange, Wong, and eventually Spider-Man in New York. In this scene, yes, the sash does look red and blue and gold, leading many online to speculate where he got that. Captain Marvel? Hot topic. Might this mean that Cull Obsidian's origin could be associated with the Kree? One theory suggests that Cull Obsidian might have gotten this sash from the suit worn by Captain Marvel's predecessor, Mar-Vell, who will be played by Jude Laau in the upcoming Captain Marvel movie in 2019, which will be an origin story set in the 1990s. Mar-Vell was a Kree warrior. Kree were a genetically engineered militaristic race with super abilities, and during a war between the Kree and another alien race called the Skrull, Mar-Vell runs into Air Force pilot Carol Danvers and passes on his powers to her. According to this theory, we might see Thanos' Black Order play a role in this conflict. And maybe Cull Obsidian could have been the one who killed Mar-Vell, carrying off part of his suit and wearing it as a kind of trophy in a very bold fashion statement. That would be a very cool piece of backstory to see in Captain Marvel, especially since I feel like we didn't really learn a whole lot about the Black Order in Infinity War. But I gotta admit, this flair is kind of a weird way for a warrior to boast his past victories, like wearing the defeated skull as a hat, or tattooing their name on your neck.
No regrets.
Maybe, but you know, that ain't the same thing as wearing your defeated enemy's colors in a fierce French tuck. And yeah, in case you're not already screaming this at your screen, this sash might not even be red and blue, guys. If you look closely at the sash in other scenes and compare it to merchandise released for the movie, it definitely looks more orange and purple, or white and gold, or whatever color Yanni is. I think many of these scenes with Cull Obsidian probably went through color balancing during the editing process that could have made this sash appear to look more red and blue. But I get it, people. We want to know more about Thanos' team and how Captain Marvel could connect to the next Avengers movie. So with those questions in mind, let's address a couple other ways Captain Marvel could connect to the overall Avengers storyline. First, let us re-examine Infinity War's post-credits scene, when Nick Fury started to fade away, but not before making parents cover their kids' ears and signaling someone on a weird pager.
Well done.
So the implication here is that Nick Fury is calling Captain Marvel for help in this apocalyptic fight against Thanos. But the question then becomes, why did Nick Fury only wait until now to call her? Back in the first Avengers movie, why did Fury imply that the 6 Avengers were humanity's last hope in the Battle of New York against Loki and the Chitauri army, when somewhere a badass with powers greater than Thor was just twiddling her thumbs? Maybe Fury was reluctant to make contact with Carol Danvers. Maybe he was afraid of her. It has been suggested that the Captain Marvel movie will reveal how Nick Fury lost his eye, an experience he actually alluded to in Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye.
Or perhaps he trusted Carol Danvers, and her inability to contain her new powers left Fury scarred. Captain Marvel could also address the origins of Thanos' quest to obtain all 6 Infinity Stones, because remember, at the start of all of this, Thanos previously possessed one of the stones, which we later learned was the Mind Stone. He granted Loki use of the scepter in order to obtain the Space Stone inside the Tesseract, but Loki of course failed, causing Thanos to lose the Mind Stone that the scepter contained. Now we still don't really know how Thanos got that Mind Stone to begin with. Perhaps the Kree-Skrull conflict in the Captain Marvel movie could shed some light on that missing piece of Thanos' history. And maybe the reason Nick Fury is summoning Carol Danvers is because she knows how Thanos acquired his first Infinity Stone, which could be information key to defeating him. Honestly, Thanos' rise to power was one of the more intriguing parts of Infinity War that I feel the movie only only scratched the surface of. We saw that flashback of him recruiting Gamora, but what about the other children of Thanos? Where did the other 4 members of the Black Order come from? And is there anything to this wild theory that I read about that suggests that the 4 of them are the members of the Fantastic Four, transformed into monstrous versions of themselves? Chew on that! And as I mentioned before, this video is brought to you by Squarespace. If you want to set up a super stylish website fast, you can make it with Squarespace. Whether it's to set up a business, or showcase some of your creative work, or post photos of you cosplaying as Captain Marvel. Everyone's doing it, there's no shame. Squarespace has 8 new templates in 2018. They look so awesome. And you don't have to know anything about coding or design. They take care of all that for you. Just go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/newrockstars to get 10% off your first purchase, or click on the link in the description. And comment down below with your thoughts on all this. Tweet me directly at Erik Voss, and follow New Rockstars on Twitter for updates on our videos. Like this video, share it around, and subscribe to New Rockstars for deeper details that you missed from your favorite Marvel movies. Thanks for watching. Bye.